Well, hello there. My name's Special Delivery Kluger. SD for short. Oh, I've got lots of letters for Santa today, and every year they're the same. Some ask for toys, but a lot ask questions. I can answer all of your questions because I know everything about Santa. The best place to start is at the very beginning, when Santa was just a baby.
Herr Bürgermeister, look what was discovered on your front stoop. A baby.
Oh, is that all? A baby?
And there's a note. Please, sir, take care of my child and protect him from the dangers of the mountain of the whispering winds.
I, Bürgermeister Meisterburger, take care of a baby? Outrageous! What's its name?
This is the only clue, sir. It says claws.
Take the little baggage to the orphanage. That's the proper place for foundlings anyway. Get the brat out of here!
But the guard lost baby Kris on the way to the orphanage. The animals knew they had to hide that baby, and fast. They knew where that baby belonged. Quick as they could, they started on their way.
A baby. What a splendid idea. He shall live with us and sleep with us and drink warm cocoa with us. His tag says Claus, unusual name. We shall call him Kris. Kris Kringle.
As Kris grew older, he learned everything from the Kringles and his animal friends. How to run, how to jump, and most importantly, how to have fun. Why, you're a penguin.
Honk, honk.
Well, what's a penguin doing here? You better travel with me. You need someone to take care of you. I'll call you Topper. Magic snowflakes. Collect as many of those as you can. Press the 2 button to make Kris jump. Press the 1 button to make Kris shake that tree. A golden snowflake. Grab that for bonus snowflakes. The Kringles were toy makers, so of course they had to teach Kris how to make toys. Perform the motion shown on screen. You did it! I'm a man now, Tanta. I can take those toys across the mountain of the whispering winds. Today, I'll leave for Sombertown. And so, Kris continues his journey across the mountain of the Whispering Winds to deliver his toys to the children of Sombertown. Kris had almost arrived at Sombertown to deliver his toys. But what he didn't realize was at that very moment, in the Sombertown City Hall,
His Honor, Burgermeister Meisterburger.
I've broken my funny bone. What caused me to trip?
This, sir.
A toy? As I suspected, I hate toys, and toys hate me. Either they go or I go, and I am certainly not going. Now take this down. Toys are hereby declared illegal, immoral, unlawful, and anyone found with a toy in his possession will be placed under arrest and thrown in the dungeon.
having arrived in Sombertown, Kris began handing out toys to every boy and girl.
Santa Claus is coming to town. You better watch out. You better not cry. Better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making you listen. Check it twice. Gonna find out who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you.
Press the one button to make Kris open that chest.
He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out. You better not cry. Better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. With curly-head dolls, the toddle and coo, elephants, boats, and kitty cars too. Santa Claus is coming to town.
The kids and girls boys will have a jubilee. They're gonna build a toyland town.
You must not play with toys.
And, who are you?
Jessica. And what do you mean by giving the children toys? Don't you know toys are against the law?
Well, gee, that's kind of a silly law.
If the Burgermeister saw you, we would all be in great danger.
In danger from toys? Why, that's the silliest thing I ever heard.
Toys are frivolous, impractical, unproductive, and... What's that?
For you?
A China doll? I always wanted one when I was a little girl, but my parents wouldn't... Thank you.
Watch out for that dolly. She's a hardened criminal, I hear.
Well, maybe it is a silly law.
Oh, what do you say you help me hand out these presents? It's too big a job for one oversized Kringle and a little lost penguin.
Stop! In the name of the law! You brats are under arrest. Take them away.
Don't arrest those kids. It was my fault. I gave them the toys.
You? How dare you? You're obviously a nonconformist and a rebel. Arrest this man. Arrest him.
Halt! Halt!
Kris narrowly escaped the guards of Sombertown, but he wasn't safe yet. He still had to cross the mountain of the Whispering Winds to get back home. Phew. I wonder where we are.
Honk, honk.
You are trespassing on the land of the Winter Warlock. Hey, let go! Let go!
Kris Kringle, you disturbed me for the very last time. Now I have you and you'll never get away.
Look, before you do me in, would you tell your tree friends to let me loose for a second? You see, I have something for you.
What is this, a trick?
Oh, no, sir, Mr. Warlock. Or may I call you Winter?
Mr. Warlock, if you please.
Well, I managed to save one little toy, and I'd like you to have it.
You wish to give me a present? A toy? But nobody ever gives me no warlock a toy.
I'd like to start a new custom. If you just call off...
What? Oh, yes, of course. You mustn't mind the tree monsters. Their bark is worse than their bite. Hey, Willy Willow, Peter Pine, release the Kringle. No tricks now, Kringle.
Oh, no, sir, Mr. Warlock.
A choo-choo. I've always wanted one. My icy heart, it's melting.
Look, Mr. Warlock.
Please, call me Winter. Suddenly, my whole outlook has changed from bad to good. But will it last? I really am a mean and despicable creature at heart, you know. It's so difficult to really change.
Difficult? Why, look here. Changing from bad to good is as easy as taking your first step.
Honk, honk.
Put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking across the floor. Put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking out the door. You never will get where you're going if you never get up on your feet. Come on, there's a good sail wind blowing. The fast-walking man is hard to beat. Put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking across the floor. Put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking out the door. If you want to change your direction, if your time of life is at hand, well, don't be the rule, be the exception. A good way to start is to stand. Put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking across the floor. Put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking out the door. If I want to change my reflection, I see in the mirror each morn. You mean that it's just my election to vote for a chance to be reborn? Put one foot in front of the other, and soon you are walking across the floor. Put one foot in front of the other, and soon you are walking out the door. Put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking across the floor. Put one foot
Gaze into my magic crystal snowball. Someone is looking for you.
Point at the screen to wipe off the frost. Point at the screen to wipe off the frost. Point at the screen to... Great job!
I thought I'd never find you again. I wanted to bring you these. Letters and notes from the children of Sombertown, asking for more toys. You see, the Burgermeister destroyed the ones you brought.
You tell those young'uns there'll be plenty of toys, but only if they behave themselves. No crying or pouting. A letter from Sombertown. I'd better make sure I grab every letter I can find to make sure all the children get what they want.
After I cast this spell, you'll be able to jump high into the sky. I hope this helps.
It feels good to be home, but there's no time to rest. I need to make as many toys as I can. The children are counting on me. Way to go! Once again, Kris makes his way to Sombertown through the Mountain of the Whispering Winds.
This spell will make you run extra fast.
Jessica told the children to leave their doors unlocked. I'll be sure to check the doors so that I can hand out more toys.
This spell will make you run extra fast.
Perform the motion shown on screen. Way to go! Point at the screen to hand out presents. 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 point at the screen to hand out presents.
Wow.
Perform the motion shown on screen. Perform the motion shown on screen. Perform the motion shown on screen. With a fresh sack of toys, Kris heads back over to Sombertown. Perform the motion shown on screen. 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 With a fresh sack of toys, Kris heads back over to Sombertown. Perform the motion shown on screen. Perform the motion shown on screen. With a fresh sack of toys, Kris heads back over to Sombertown.
After I cast this spell, you'll be able to jump high into the sky.
In Sombertown, Kris found that all the doors were locked. Now there was one special toy he just had to deliver. To Susie, the little girl who was very, very sick. some of the doors are locked. Maybe I can slip down these chimneys to deliver my toys. Point at the screen to hand out presents. Point at the screen to hand out presents. Point at the screen to hand out presents.
With this invisibility spell, you can sneak past the Burgermeister's guards.
Yay!
Perform the motion shown on screen. Great job! Point at the screen to hand out presents. 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 Point at the screen to hand out presents.
Yay!
Point at the screen to hand out presents. Point at the screen to hand out presents.
Wow!
Point at the screen to hand out presents. Point at the screen to hand out presents. Point at the screen to hand out presents. Point at the screen to hand out presents.
After I cast this spell, you'll be able to jump high into the sky.
Point at the screen to hand out presents. 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 Point at the screen to... Point at the screen to hand out presents. Point at the screen to hand out presents. Point at the screen to hand out presents. Perform the motion shown on screen. Great job! I sure hope those kids will enjoy those toys. I'd better head back to the workshop.
This spell will make you run extra fast. I hope this helps.
Perform the motion shown on screen. Well done! But while Kris was busy making toys for the children of Sombertown,
More toys? But how? I will do what I should have done a long time ago. I will set a trap for that bothersome Kringle. His next visit to Sombertown will be his last.
This bell will make you run extra fast.
Santa Kringle and the Winter Warlock, you are under arrest for defying the law and making toys, and for being an accomplice to public enemy number 1, Kris Kringle. To the dungeon.
Oh, I tell you, things didn't look good. And meanwhile, back in Sombertown... But Kris didn't find out what happened to his friends. He continued handing toys out through the doors and chimneys of Sombertown. Point at the screen to hand out presents. Point at the screen to hand out presents. Perform the motion shown on screen. You did it! Point at the screen to hand out presents. 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 Point at Point at the screen to hand out presents. 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 Point at the screen to hand out presents.
With this invisibility spell, you can sneak past the Burgermeister's guards.
Stop! Stop! Hooked! Hooked!
Point at the screen to hand out presents. 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 Point at the screen to hand out presents.
Hooked! Hooked!
Stop! You are under arrest! To the dungeon!
Jessica grabbed some of Winter's magic feed corn. Rumored to make reindeer fly, Jessica hatched a plan.
I need to get the Winter Warlock's magic feed corn to the reindeer in order to save Kris and the others.
Jessica rounded up some of Kris's reindeer friends. Dasher and Dancer, Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid, Donner and Blitzen. Look at them go.
Halt! Stop! Stop!
Let's go, Donner!
On foot, Vixen! On foot!
I still have a little magic. I haven't lost it
Stop.
after all.
Honk, honk.
Kris suddenly found himself an outlaw.
Wanted, the terrible toy maker, Kris Kringle.
You should not use your Kringle name. It's dangerous.
Not call myself Kringle, But what other name would suit me?
There is one. You were wearing this when we found you as a baby. See what it says?
Point at the screen to wipe off the frost. Claus. Claus.
Your real name. You must use it now.
And it was that name Kris asked Jessica to share. It was that name Jessica agreed to take as his wife. It was a lovely wedding. They held it on Christmas Eve. But there was no rest for our little group of outcasts. Soon they were forced out beyond the reaches of civilization, up far past the most northern city, past where even most animals live, up to the North Pole.
This spell will make you run extra fast.
And so, Kris set out to find a new home to settle down in and make toys. Well, this is it, people. Yes, we'll build ourselves a nice house. While we're at it, we'll build ourselves a castle and the best toy factory in the world. Well, as soon as the building was built, they started making toys. Oh, they needed toys. Because you see, despite everything the Meisterburgers tried, the legend of Kris Kringle, or Claus as he now was known, just grew and grew. It turned into quite a proposition. I can hardly keep up with the orders. I'm afraid I'm going to have to limit my journeys to one a year, Christmas Eve. And that's the story of Santa Claus. Now that you know all about him, you can be sure that come snow or high water, Santa Claus is coming to town.
Santa Claus is coming to town. You better watch out, you better not cry, better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list, he's checking it twice, gonna find out who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out, you better not cry, better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town.